Yeah, I'm gonna start. So I'm here with my friend Steve outside of Whispering Falls, and we're going to talk about a little bit of history of camp here. He's always shared a story with me that I've enjoyed hearing about from many years ago when he was a younger man and used to come up here with his wife Sarah and his children. And they used to come up in the wintertime. Well, I got one question right off the bat. Burnside Hall, you guys have a tie to that, right?
Yes, yes. That is Sarah's mom and dad had been the cooks up here for years, before I even came here. So back in '78, they were dedicating that building. And that's when I found out about Genevieve and Pearl Burns coming up here the entire summer, basically, to be the cooks for, well, Mom would cook, Dad would do the dishes.
Right,
that kind of thing.
Right.
But that was their enjoyment, just being up here with the kids. So Sarah and her brothers were up here before they were even campers.
Okay.
Because they were that young, just to be up here with the
And that was
a family.
That was built in '78, if I remember right.
That one, well,
right?
They dedicated in '78. When it was finished, I don't really know. I mean, I just got here December of '78, '77 in Madison to go to school after I got out of the Air Force. And then I just learned a little bit about camp and met some the college students and stuff like that who came up here, and they had the dedication, and I found out about her parents. And
gotcha.
Interesting.
So you guys used to stay in this cabin, or one of them. You've stayed in a lot of them, but this was one of them you stayed in.
Yeah, we would come up here between Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah.
When I was working in Milwaukee, and we and our kids were, well, I think David was like 2. I put Stephen about 7, and we used to come to this cabin. And at the time, there was a wood burner back in the corner of the cabin. There isn't any longer. We don't have wood burners in any of the
But there
cabins.
was.
Yes, there was one. And there was wisdom to remove it because 3 weeks after it was built, they had a fire in the cabin going through the roof area. So the guys that were here got it put out. It was a single wall exhaust. So it was supposed to be, it should have been a double. They put a double in, and we stayed up here and actually had fires in here between. I mean, in the wood burner, obviously.
Right.
And that was our heat source when the kids were up here. And inside, it's changed now, like any of the other cabins. It's changed. There used to be a loft up there.
Okay.
And the bunk beds that were in here, the kids would take the mattresses, and they're so short. For me to go up there, it was a short loft, but at that age, they just enjoyed being up there. That's where the heat would be. Sarah and I'd be down here, and we had a fun time up here during the winter. Now, what kind of reminded me a little bit about that, too, is I was just on the WCYC Facebook page looking at the tractor driving through here in the snow.
Right,
and just that brought back a lot of memories what we did as a family. We would come up here. So Patrick, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if Kaylee was along with them, but they were driving and just not talking, but just showing you the snow, what's up here at camp. And we enjoyed just coming here. Because
most people don't see that.
No.
That's one of the privileges that my family has as well, because we live here.
Yeah.
And we get to see this here in the wintertime, and it's spectacular.
It is.
It's just with all the foliage down, you see the lay of the land, right?
Yeah, different.
And it's just, it's a completely different flavor. But you said there's a wood burner in here. Were there wood burners in the other cabins as well?
In a few of them. I got involved with the camp shortly after that. And I don't remember the young man's name who was on the board, and just realized, these are old cabins. They're dry. They're tinder boxes.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just a wisdom just to remove those, to take those out.
Agreed.
And this stayed here for a little bit longer in this cabin, but all the other, because it was newer, this was built a couple of years before we came here, and our guys were born in the, I'm losing track, 80s.
Yeah.
Early 80s.
Okay.
And that kind of thing. 80 to 86 in that ballpark. We had 4 children. And so this cabin was kind of new. And it was just a lot of fun to be memories in here. Right. One of the memories, kind of a fun one for me.
Sure.
Not so much for a couple of the ladies in the family
Right.
was we used to come up here. Of course, now there's no running water here. You have to get your water.
Sure.
The toilets are not running, but there was an outhouse up the hill this way, up towards the wash house that's existing, the wash house now, but there used to be an outhouse, and that's
Sure.
was not desired in the middle of winter. So I rigged up a homemade toilet inside here, a bucket basically, and took the toilet seat from our house, put it on there.
Clever.
And but it was always concerned about a little tyke who's anxious and would potentially knock it over. You know, kids
Sure.
can wrestle. So we did that one fall or one winter. The next winter, I decided we're just going to use the outhouse, guys. And in the middle of the evening, middle of the night, really, I didn't hear any of the girls getting up. But both Genevieve and Elizabeth and Sarah, they all had to go use the outhouse. I have no idea what it was, but what woke me up was Elizabeth stomping her foot, just in emphasizing the word with every time she stomped her foot, the word came out spitting like, oh, because Dad didn't want to bring the bucket. You know? Oh, I was roaring.